excited to share with you today some great information, some exciting information on Reunion Sunday that's going to begin on May the 17th at 10 a.m. here at Van Buren First Assembly. It's been over 50 days since we've been able to share with you a personal service or physical service here in the sanctuary, and we know that you've been quarantined, and so many people have Facebook, text, called, and want to know when we are going to be able to get back to church. And so we're excited to tell you that on May the 17th at 10 a.m. we will return to service here in the sanctuary. However, as you probably listened to our governor this past week telling us about the restrictions there are in how we are to return. And so that's what we want to do over the next few minutes in this video, is to share with you those restrictions and how we will move forward in having services here at Van Buren First Assembly in Phase 1. Once Phase 1 has relaxed and they've moved on to Phase 2, then those things will change. So these are, over the next few minutes, the ways that we're going to return on May the 17th. And so we hope that you are as excited as we are. And the word for our return is flexible. That's just going to be the word over the next several weeks as we endeavor to try to have church along with the restrictions that we have been given. So what I'd like to do is to share a couple of those restrictions with you. And at Van Buren First Assembly, what we want to do is we will do our best to follow the guidelines that have been set before us and going along with our return. So I just want to read a couple of those to you. I know that you probably were able to watch the news conference, and you know that yourself. We will obviously observe the 6-foot social distancing, to which we will show you here in just a few moments how we've set the sanctuary up. The staff has worked very hard to set the sanctuary up so that when you enter the building and exit the building, it will be very simple and hopefully not too confusing to you on how we're going to do that. If you come to church on May the 17th with your family, we will ask that you sit with your family, obviously observing the 6-foot social distancing. Anyone over the age of 10 years old, we are being asked to wear a mask. However, those that are speaking in a service and those that are worshiping, doing our worship, our praise team and the band will not have to wear a mask while they are in the worship service. However, once that part of the service is over, the praise team will be seated and they will wear a mask as well. So we ask that you please, if you plan to attend those services, that anyone above the age of 10 years old would please wear a mask. We will have hand sanitizing stations set up at every entrance to the building. Obviously, you've probably seen multiple videos already on Facebook of other churches and pastors announcing the fact that they have sanitized their buildings and been cleaning their buildings and are setting out sanitizing stations, and we've done the very same thing. Our building here in the sanctuary and the restrooms that we will use have already been cleaned. Our cleaning team has been doing that already this week, and we will continue to make sure that those are ready to go on that day. So everything will be clearly marked for you as to the restrooms that will be available for your use on that day. We would like to ask you that when you come to church on May the 17th, that as you exit your vehicles in the parking lot, that you would come on into the building and please not congregate in the hallways right outside the sanctuary. That when you again exit your vehicle to come in, that you would please come on into the building and have a seat and get ready for service. Once service has dismissed, we will dismiss the building in the ways that we've been asked to do. And again, once we dismiss that service on Sunday, we would like to ask you that you would go ahead and move onto your vehicle and exit the parking lot. There will be no cafe. Our cafe that is normally open, obviously on Sunday mornings, we will not have the cafe at this time, and we just ask that you please, if you are with your family, obviously the physical contact with your family is fine, but we'd just like to ask that you not have any physical contact with others on the property, and just go ahead and exit once those services are over. Again, we have done the absolute best we can in our planning as far as our offering. Many of you use our online services for your paying your tithes and your offerings, His Hour, and other commitments that you may have towards missions. And we would like to ask that you still continue to do that by way of push pay or using our website. There are a number of you that still are mailing your tithes and offerings in and your other commitments, and I just want to tell you thank you for being so faithful through this difficult time that we've all been through. And the church has been very faithful. God has done some amazing things that you're going to hear about in the weeks to come as far as tithing, what God has done in people's lives that have been furloughed or have lost their jobs, and just some really amazing things that the Lord has done financially for people. And so we want to be able to share those with you. If you choose to bring your offering with you, or your His Hour commitment, or a missions offering, Speed the Light, whatever it is that you've chosen to contribute to financially, if you want to bring those with you to service and actually give those, we will not pass the offering bags as we have done before. At each exit of the building that you will exit from, there will be a table there or a box there for you, a locked box for you to be able to drop your tithes and your offerings in. So we greatly appreciate you working with us. We'd like to ask you that you would refrain. This will be difficult for us, very difficult for me to even ask this, but that you would refrain from coming forward to the altar. This is one of the restrictions that the governor has asked for us to do at this point. Really a difficult thing for us as Pentecostals to not want to go to an altar, but we would just like to ask you that while here in service, once you are at your pew, other than needing to exit to use the restroom, that we would like to ask you to please just stay there in your pew. There will be no Sunday school on May the 17th. We will not have Sunday school. It will be service here in the sanctuary beginning at 10 o'clock. And so there will be also no nursery. If you have nursery age children and you want to come to church and bring those, you choose to come to church on that day, please know that there will not be a nursery and there will be no kids club on that day. Everyone will be in the sanctuary. If you choose to come with your family, please sit with your family. And we will on that day obviously be sanitizing all of the common areas, places, door knobs, door handles where people come in and go out. So we will make sure on that day that we are taking care of you to the best of our ability. And so what we want to do here just for a moment is we're going to turn the cameras around, and we're going to show you how we're going to load or enter the building and exit the building on May the 17th. So over the past few days, our incredible staff has gone through the sanctuary and marked off the sanctuary that coincide with the restrictions that we've been given throughout phase 1. So we just want to take a moment to share with you kind of what that's going to look like when you come in the building. Here you'll see that these sections have been marked off with red marking, and what we would like to ask you is when you come in the building to find your seat, please do not sit in an aisle that is blocked with the red markings, and please do not sit in a pew where there are red strips or red tape in the pew itself. Our building has been marked off or has been sectioned off into 3 separate sections within the building. The door you see behind me will be the exit door for section 1. If you are familiar with our sanctuary, when you come in the back doors, coming inside the sanctuary, the section to your right will be section 1, and you will exit when the service is over out the doors here just behind me. The next section, which is directly in front of the pulpit, will be section 2. And that section obviously will exit straight out behind the camera or the sound booth. Then section 3, if you are looking towards the pulpit in our sanctuary, the far left 2 sections, that is section 3. And we would like to ask that you exit out the brown doors that are clearly marked exit there on the left side of the sanctuary. So on May the 17th at 10 a.m., once the service gets started, it will be just as usual or as normal as we can possibly be. Over to my right, where the choir room is, you will clearly see the marked signs for the restrooms for section 1. In section 2, you will use the hall bathrooms that are in the main hallway as you come into the sanctuary. For section 3, it will be clearly marked on the doors over on the left, the restrooms on the doors that lead to the baptistry. So again, our sections will be 1, 2, and 3. Beginning next Tuesday at noon on Tuesday, you will be able to go live online to register for the 10 o'clock service on May the 17th. You will need to register all of the people that you intend to bring with you on that day. If you are a family of 4 and you intend to bring all 4, then on Tuesday, beginning on Tuesday, you will need to register all 4 of your family. If you are just simply a family of 2, then you register those 2. Registration will close on Friday night at 7 p.m. In the service on Sunday morning, our building will hold 375 people. And so what we need you to do is go online beginning Tuesday at noon and register you and your family for the 10 a.m. service on May the 17th. Following the regulations that were set aside by our governor on Monday, it will be necessary for you to register you and your family in order to attend the service on May the 17th at 10 a.m. Registration will begin Tuesday on May the 12th at noon and will end on Friday at 7 p.m. All of our volunteers that will serve in the service on May the 17th will be contacted by Christy Swafford, and she will contact you by way of Planning Center. Again, we just want to say how excited we are to be able to return to service with you. This is something we've been looking forward to for a very long time, you as well. And so we look forward to seeing you on May the 17th.